What do you think is making the airline space in Kenya more attractive, and what are we looking at in this?
First, good morning, Michael. The airlines in Kenya, and by the way, all across East Africa, can now see more interest for more and more different customers, which traditionally were not there before. The middle class all across the region is booming, is growing. The typical customer wants to consume and look for cheap ways how to move between Kigali, Kampala, Entebbe, Nairobi, Dar es Salaam. That's one of the main reasons that we can see a growth in bookings and payments all across the region when it comes to regional and domestic airlines.
Eran, of course, we did see some issues rising with low-cost carriers like Jumbo Jet, Kenya Airways subsidiary. Just the other day, they were supposed to kick off their flight between Bujumbura in Burundi and Nairobi in Kenya. That was stopped by the government, saying that there is no business class. Tell me, with such issues happening, where do we see now key opportunities for growth? If this is failing, where do we go next?
That's one of those cases which obviously can be considered as a bad parameter. But on the other side, look at all the flights that has been added between all the capital cities across the region or within the region. Here at the DPO, we can see increased growth for domestic and regional routes. We see lots of passengers between Mombasa and Kenya, between Kenya and Entebbe. So maybe the government blocked one of the flights to Burundi, but on the other side, these airlines launch more and more flights. There are talks about a new national carrier to Uganda. Air Tanzania just emerged after many years that they were dormant. So the positive signs are more effective than the bad ones.
Eran, of course, we understand that Jumbo Jet has been operating most of the regions, given the likes of Air Uganda that was out of business, rather Uganda Air that liquidated in 1995 and is yet to come back with, of course, ordering about 6 new airplanes. And of course, we're still looking at Jumbo Jet bringing in 2 more planes, but also Air Tanzania, on the other hand, is growing rather very strong. Tell me, are low-cost flights at a disadvantage here?
No. On the contrary, there is all across the world there is a very nice balance between low-cost and traditional airlines. From DPO, we can see it from the payments side. We can see the same growth for traditional airlines, where the customer pay, we can say the premium price or the standard price, and in addition, we can see a major growth when it comes to low cost, where the customer can use their mobile money for payment, they can use debit cards or prepaid cards. So there is a space for all of them, and we can definitely see the payment space, which supports the airlines growth with the airlines, both low cost and traditional.
Tell me, what does your partnership with Aero CRS mean for the Kenyan aerospace landscape?
Aero CRS, it's a high-end, state-of-the-art booking engine for airlines, mainly embrace the online booking. DPO, on the other side, it's a payment solution, leading payment solution all across Africa. Now, only together, the solution can be completed because, Michael, if you would like to book a flight tomorrow morning with Rwanda, and you would like to use your MTN wallet or to use your Visa card, obviously you need both a combination of booking engine and a payment solution. And this is everything about the relationship between Aero CRS, which is a leading booking engine, and DPO, which is a leading payment solution.
We understand that you've been in the market for quite a time now. Tell me, what do you flag as some of the challenges that this rather aerospace or the low-cost business is facing at this particular point in this region?
Actually, Michael, next month, December, we will celebrate 13 years for the first online payments we processed in the region. It was 2006 in Kenya.
That's quite some time.
Oh, yeah, DPO is here for a long time, but we can see the change. DPO, if I look 2-3 years back, most of the payments were paid by foreigners or businessmen and leisure travelers today, there is a huge change. Most of our payments are a process from customers like yourself, like myself, who travel here to do business, to do local tourism. The main challenge is the infrastructure. We're still looking at the internet, which is not the best, not the best standards. There are some cross-border challenges when it comes to regulation. But all in all, these challenges can be mitigated. And as I mentioned before, and all across this interview, we can see mainly the growth, not the slowdown.
Aren't you worried about any other payment solution platforms that may or are already in this particular industry of East Africa?
Oh no, on the contrary. This market is huge. There is enough space for many players, and if these players are fully certified, if they follow the rules, if they will give you and I the security and to feel comfortable, at the end of the day, the consumer will feel comfortable to pay online, whether it's via DPO or any other player, as long as we all play in the same by the same rules.
Eran, of course, before I let you go, there is this question that I always ask anyone in the aviation industry. We're seeing a very, very strong tides that are coming in, Ethiopian Airlines enlarging and buying into other airlines. Of course, we saw the other day them merging with the Zambia Airlines, and of course, Air Tanzania growing big, Kenya Airways opening routes to JFK directly. Of course, we saw a cutback on that because of the low demand, but still, they have the route. And we're looking at Rwanda Air also trying to flag off the same as we enter 2019. Tell me, this competition that we're seeing in the region, is it worth it? Or maybe regional players should rather merge into one rather bigger conglomerate on the other end and do business together? What do you see for regional integration as well?
At the moment, Michael, I think the balance is quite good because there are two big, very big players here, which is KQ and Ethiopian Airlines. And then the second level of airlines. At the moment, it's quite balanced, but you are very right. You need to be careful. The market, the regulator needs to make sure that none of these giants will take over most of the market. But it's the same thing in the payments space. We can see it as DPO also, who is in the market and if it can be balanced. At the moment, this competition, this growth is good for all of us because you and I can see quite cheap tickets and very attractive promotions.